What is up, YouTube? What is up, almost Instagram? Instagram's freezing on me right now, saying that I've got a poor connection. I don't understand how I can literally be on the exact same internet connection and YouTube works and Instagram doesn't. But here we are. Oh, that's going to piss me off. Anyways, hope everyone on YouTube is having a good time today. Jump in the comment section. Feel free to ask me any questions. Definitely happy to hang out with you guys for the day. Oh, come on here, Instagram. Pull your shit together. Any guess on when the bubble will pop? You'll have to be a lot more specific in the year 2021 about what bubble. But fire too many bubbles. All right. This doesn't look like it's going to work, Instagram. I'm just going to put us both out of our misery right now. All right. Screw that. Giving up on Instagram. Hope everyone's having a good Monday so far. Got the bong here. Let's jump into it. Appreciate the birthday wishes, everyone. See, someone's got a tenant screening question. It's weird how this shit works, but anyways, I actually already answered a tenant screening question earlier today on the Cashflow Tribe Live call. So I'll recommend you guys just jump over to that training from earlier today and check that out, where I kind of go in depth on my opinions and perspectives when it comes to tenant screening. Because here in Ontario, it's important to make sure you're on the right side of the law when it comes to those tenant screenings. Awesome. All right, I think I'm going to do a screen share here. See what's going on realtor.ca. Feel free to jump in the comments there, guys. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling low energy, so I was going to browse on realtor.ca. If there's some questions that pique my interest, I'm happy to jump in there. Instagram just completely gave up on me. How much of the mortgage interest rate do you end up paying after the tax deductions, roughly? How much of the mortgage interest rate do you end up paying after tax deductions, roughly? Chris, I think I understand the question you're asking, but it's kind of a weird way to phrase it, and it shows kind of a weird set of priorities, in my opinion, to even ask a question that way. Don't get me wrong, lots of people ask it that way, so not necessarily throwing shade at you, but so essentially, how much of the mortgage interest rate do you end up paying after tax deductions? So the way I would interpret that, and the way usually the reason someone would ask a question like that is they're essentially saying like, hey, I know that I'm going to pay interest expense, but that interest expense is tax deductible, right? And because it's tax deductible, it's not really like I'm paying the full amount. And sort of, but like that's true of essentially any expense, right? Like any tax deductible expense. So whether we're talking about renovation cost, whether we're talking about property management cost, repairs and maintenance cost, or interest rate expense in this opinion, or in this case, it's essentially the same thing. So, you know, it's whatever income tax bracket you're in. If you're in Canada, you're probably let's say you're in the highest tax bracket, you're probably around a 50% tax rate. So in that case, essentially half of the interest rate in your situation based upon your question would be like a real out-of-pocket expense, if you want to view it that way. But again, every expense that's tax deductible is tax deductible. So the vast majority of expenses that real estate investors have will be tax deductible. And because of that, you're usually not like approaching the problem in that way. So I would just make sure that you're approaching the question the right way, or that that question's worth answering in the first place. Actually, would be a better way to say that. What are we smoking? Oh, I actually just got some new weed yesterday, and it came with some fun new names. What were they? I want to say, is it Black Gas, GG4, which I've had before. Yeah, I forget, but they were all very enticing names, and they seem to be effective strains so far. So no complaints there. Got a little bit THC distillate as well, so I always enjoy that. Curious if you guys partake in THC distillate as well. Let me know. What are your thoughts on the Windsor real estate market for a young real estate investor wanting to get in the game? Hey, Adam, make sure you check out the videos that we've shot with Adita on my YouTube channel. We're essentially just going through the Windsor real estate market. Like any market right now, it's hot in Ontario, so there's a lot of potential to make money. There's also definitely potential to get caught up in the pandemonium and make bad decisions. So I would make sure you've got experts in your corner, and definitely encourage you to reaching out to Adita or someone on his team if you're looking for a local realtor. Do you know why Canada doesn't have longer term fixed rate mortgages like the US? I feel like there is a real specific answer to this, but I honestly forget the answer to it now. I got a feeling it's something to do with the way the financing's done here and the way mortgages are maybe bundled and sold. But I honestly forget. But I feel like there was a time in my life that I knew that answer. What is the concept of an umbrella mortgage? An umbrella mortgage, guys, is just like, so like umbrella mortgages, portfolio mortgages, these are mortgages that are kind of across a bunch of different things. So a portfolio mortgage is going to be a mortgage that's across like a portfolio of properties. A umbrella mortgage could be across a bunch of properties. It could be across a business's assets, things of that nature. So again, it really just depends upon what you're using it for specifically in regards to what the collateral is going to be on that umbrella mortgage. So, we've used and probably will use again in the future portfolio mortgages. We've used, different like cross-tagged or cross-collateralized assets to get debt and things like that. Sounds like you party too hard on your birthday. No, definitely not a big partier there. Just a case of the sniffles. I originally found you from a job posting from a couple months back. Seriously regretting not being confident enough to film a vid application. Laugh my ass off. Monique, we're constantly hiring, so there's always the next job opportunity because we're aggressively hiring for a bunch of the different businesses. Understand though, we do have like, this actually probably dovetails nicely into the question someone had about tenant applications. So again, with employee applications, one of the things we do have very specific requirements and requests of someone applying. One of those is to shoot like a selfie video or an interview video and just send it to us. And that'll, demonstrate a certain level of competency and confidence when it comes to social media or being on camera or just even understanding how that all works. But also, for us, it's so much about culture and personality fit and things of that nature. And someone that's really concerned about that, really uncomfortable doing that, there's probably going to be a cultural shock there coming into our ecosystem, especially in this day and age with just Zoom meetings being what they are. It was maybe a little bit less conventional for us to be doing a year ago, but now I feel like that's not even that strange because so much of your day to day interaction is going to be this way, right? I spend like 7 hours a day on average. Today wasn't that bad, but again, even if we count this video, I'll probably still end up being 4 or 5 hours on Zoom, and I essentially Zoom or StreamYard, and I essentially took today off, right? So that's like a day off of Zoom. So that ability and willingness to be on camera and comfort level, I think, is valuable in this day and age in the corporate world. But we are definitely always hiring, so you guys can go to mattmckeever.com/join my team. Definitely encourage anyone that's looking for opportunities to check us out. Also, Cashflow Tribe is constantly hiring, so you can probably find Cashflow Tribe ads out at pretty much all times as well. Have you looked into purchasing properties in the U.S. as a Canadian? If so, what are some things you would need to alter in your purchasing process? What would you take a loan from a Canadian or U.S. bank? Yeah, Adam, I haven't looked too deep into it. The primary reason is I don't got a competitive advantage when it comes to buying in the U.S. The second one is there's just more pain in the ass factors. There's additional disclosures and things like that, and additional forms you have to file if you own a certain dollar value of foreign property. So just for simplicity's sake on all fronts, I don't see myself having a competitive advantage. I don't see a need or a desire to want to have to file additional forms and paperwork. I don't own much foreign property. That's not saying that I'm completely against the idea of doing so. Again, just like any business endeavor, though, I need a competitive advantage. And so until I believe myself or someone on my team has that, I'm just not going to be pursuing those sort of opportunities. And right now, I don't have anyone in the Rolodex that I believe to have a real competitive advantage in that space, so I'm not chasing it. But I'm not opposed to it in the future either. I could definitely be enticed to like own property in Puerto Rico. I could see that being a smart decision long term. Hey, Matt, just wanted to give you a big thanks. Just entered into negotiations for 1.5 multifamily. Would not believe I could have pulled it off without you and your team. That's awesome. Hey, what's up, Nathan? Have I ever tried Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? No, I've not. Thanks, Matt. Not sure if you saw it earlier, but happy birthday. Awesome. Thanks, Adam. All right. Appreciate it, guys. Well, it looks like we're pretty well caught up. I'm going to go back to some realtor.ca cruising. I'm looking to see if there's any interesting properties for sale. I don't know. Right now, I'm really close to renting out a place, guys, for our new like headquarters. And one, it's a big commitment. Commercial leases or industrial leases, right? Looking at like essentially a 6-figure a year commercial lease, and you got to commit to essentially a couple years. And it's just hard for me not to, in a way, want to go buy a property instead. But there's also just no properties available that I really like. So there's one that I kind of like, but the seller is just giving us all the red flags. He's refusing to essentially assist any potential buyers. He's refusing to assist any potential buyers getting an environmental study done. And just his reaction to these requests are just unusual and very red flaggish. So it's unfortunate because it's actually otherwise the building would totally make sense. But if it's contaminated property, I just can't make it work. Man, I wish I would have bought a property. Glen Bend is close to like in a way, Grand Bend's kind of like my hometown. I really wish I would have bought a property in Grand Bend back in the day. I came so close to buying a cottage for like 110,000 just off of the strip. Probably like back in, I don't know, 2008 to 2012. I was actively considering it, and at the time I was like, oh, that's too expensive. Why would I pay that for a cottage? Regrets. It was a small ass cottage, don't get me wrong, but still technically was a cottage. Two of the smallest bedrooms ever. Using every square inch here for our kitchen, it looks like. Although it's kind of hard to tell the height there. It feels a lot shorter than it actually is, I feel like, because that looks like a door there, maybe. Yeah. But geez, 600,000 for that. Although I guess this is technically duplex. Is that the angle? This extremely unique side-by-side duplex. 2 semi-units on one property. Okay. What else we got going on in the question? If Ontario had to pick another province's landlord and tenant board, which provinces would you want? David, I'm not an expert on all of them, but if I had to guess, I'm going to guess either Alberta's or one of the, like Alberta, Saskatchewan, actually probably Saskatchewan, or maybe one of the maritime provinces, but I doubt that we're likely to just do a random switcheroo. Matt, for a beginner who wants to start in real estate, is it better to buy a principal residence first or buy an investment property right away? Ernesto, it really depends upon the context of the situation and what you're trying to accomplish here. So in general, I like the idea of house hacking. So that's kind of blending both worlds. So if you're trying to get like an insured mortgage or a low down mortgage, you can do that, right, with a house hack, but you'll still have the benefits of being able to rent out the property and have cash flow from it. I would, in a perfect world, I'd aim for a triplex or a fourplex, rent out 3 of the 4 units, live in the 4th unit, and then ideally take on a roommate. That's honestly one of the most powerful ways to supercharge your financial situation. So yeah, that's that'd be my go-to play. FYI, guys, if you see any churches for sale out by Brantford, not anything currently for sale because we're already looking at or have looked at everything currently for sale. But if you see any new churches or schools come for sale, let me know. There's a property out here like by Flamborough, I think it's. And unfortunately, someone bought the church before we realized it. Otherwise, I think I actually would have bought the church because it was under 600,000 and just like a beautiful church, amazing stained glass window, and like under an hour drive to Pearson Airport. So love that location. So if you guys see anything come up there, or really anything in the Ingersoll Woodstock area as well, but again, any churches or schools currently for sale, I'm already acutely aware of, and we've either toured or looked at or discussed or offered on. So, but anything new comes up, slide into those DMs. Because I need the headquarters. I need to shake it up, do something. What kind of car do you drive? What's your dream car? Didifim, I would never really say I had a dream car. If I had to like pick a car, you know, I would usually back in the day pick like a Ranchero, which is like Ford's El Camino, um, or an El Camino. But these days, it would definitely be a Tesla. But I'm not a car person whatsoever. I drive a RAV4. I want to say it is. It's used. It used by an old retired couple. That never put any hard miles on it, and I don't put any hard miles on it either. I literally, like, during lockdown, I drive it like twice a month just to like get it out, make sure that it still runs. Is it a red flag if an investment property does not have pictures of the inside? Uh, it's usually a sign that the property is in rough shape, but it's not necessarily a guarantee. It can just be sloppy marketing or a weird situation. Um, you know, it can be a red flag that's got bad tenant. It can be a red flag that's in bad condition. It can be a red flag that's got bad marketing or a bad sales agent. Those are probably going to be the most common causes under those circumstances. Tesla Cybertruck with problems or profits, and McKeever with a blunt wrap 100%. Yeah, I could definitely see the Cybertruck. If I remember correctly, I think Adam Martin put down, like, it was just a token deposit, right, that you had to do. Pretty sure he did that. And I really wish we could just find the ideal headquarters. I'm actually spending a lot of my free time trying to find something perfect. So I feel like this is going to define my business for the next little bit. Can't just leave that shit up to chance. You got to make your own luck. That means just constantly scrounging, seeing what's for sale. All right. What was this in Brantford? Just a vacant lot. Great opportunity. Yeah, really like a little bit of a building as well. It's behind a fourplex built in 1960. Too old. No, I don't think so. But again, understand that, like, every property is unique to its situation. So here in Ontario, Canada, properties are usually built kind of to last. The 1960s isn't that old. But again, like, what quality of construction, what's the condition, how's it been treated over the last 60 years? That's crazy that a property from 1960 is 60 plus years old. But yeah, all those are big factors in regards to whether it's too old or not. But definitely, I wouldn't have concerns. Probably my average property is still 1960s or older. Though we're slowly trending up here. Lived in Sudbury for a couple of months. What happened there? Lived in Sudbury a couple of months. Lived in Sudbury a couple of months. Not too sure about real estate, but a great business area. Generally, restaurants, retail, much lower competition. Not a lot of people moving in. Yeah, that's definitely true. That's one of the downsides as well, though, right? I've done a couple analysis videos, I think, now on Sudbury. And so, unfortunately, the net migration is positive, but there's not enough young people moving into Sudbury. So unless that demographic change shifts, Sudbury could be kind of looking at a demographics cliff, and that can really be bad for a local economy, just because if all of a sudden there's just a bunch of retirees, there's not going to be much spending going on in the local economy. And if they have a struggle enticing young people, they're going to continue, and it kind of becomes this vicious feedback loop. As far as whether you should wait to get your PR to be a real estate investor in Canada, I just don't know enough about the exact details, context, and situation. So I can't really comment on it. But what I would say is research, make sure you really understand the consequences and for all the different scenarios, and then just figure out exactly what it is you want to accomplish, compare the two, and go from there. Right, we'll cruise the MLS for a little bit longer. Yeah, there's just not much out here. Yep. Just nothing. All right. I was searching the right thing, right? Oh, Jesus. How did I end up on residential? God damn. Hey, at least I bought us some time here. Something worth looking at now. I don't see the pricing on this building. I get it. It's beautiful. Seems like an awesome location in theory, but right now in practice, it just isn't. Oh, I just recently sold, or we just went firm on one of my last big pieces of my personal portfolio. So that's kind of a cool milestone. After that property sells and closes, I've got one more property we're closing on shortly, and I'll be down to just like 2 properties that I'll personally own. And we'll see, but I think my intentions are to try and sell those in the near future as well. So very soon, Matt McKeever may own no personal properties. And that's something that actually entices me significantly. Feel like I'm just going to feel so free and nimble, decoupled from the system. I'll have a bunch of corporations that are tightly coupled with the system, but I'll be loosely coupled with those corporations. I look forward to that. Those extra degrees of freedom or autonomy. Autonomy. That will be nice. Close. Holy, there's a lot of comments there that I hadn't realized. Yo, Matt, do you know Jamil Kigilio? What do you think about their business model or how they do wholesaling? Kiglio. No, I am not familiar. So, yeah, can't comment. Tell me about their business model, though. I'm always interested if they're doing something interesting or innovative. I see someone's asking what's next. If I take that as a business statement, one of the next things for us business-wise is apps. I'm going to go big into apps. I'm going to be all over everyone's phone because I think that's where the next real estate rush is going to be. So actually just heard from one of the teams working on an app right now for us. They'll be done by end of March at the latest, but we're hoping end of February. but that's already scope creeping a little bit there. But that's all okay. And then another app should be out. Actually, that one should be out by the end of March as well. Interesting. That deadline's going to sneak up on us. And then, yeah, two more that hopefully we can crank out before the end of the year. So the goal would be to try and have four dedicated iOS and Google apps out before the end of the year, or at least have two out and two still in development. So definitely looking forward to that. Ooh. Then beyond that, cranking out a book right now. So that book will be releasing this year. And I think I'm hoping to write one more book before the end of the year. And yeah, we just released a free ebook as well. So we're going to be releasing a ton of free ebooks. Really proud of the ebooks we're making, actually. I think that they're the best. I think we're the best at what we're doing. So that feels really cool and is very satisfying. So we've got the Ammar Wholesaling ebook, which is already out, which I think is some of the best education on wholesaling that's available for free in the world. We've got the FIRE ebook, which is out, which I think is one of the best ebooks on financial independence and retiring early that's out for free. Then we'll have a cottage ebook that's coming out shortly. I think the team was just shooting some of the videos today. And so that's like a 6,000 word ebook I wrote just on the cottage buying process, trying to help people. And what else? Oh, and then the real estate one, the real estate grade filter. So cranking out ebooks. We're going to have an ebook a month for a while. All right, guys. Well, there's really not too much here for commercial real estate. So I think I'm going to wrap up for the night, but I appreciate everyone hanging out with me. Smash that like button, all that good stuff. And we'll be back tomorrow with a new news show. And I'll be back next Monday smoking more weed. Thanks, guys.